After a short while, I felt the touch of someone's hand on my cheek. Raziel gazed at me with a frown, her expression that of profound compassion. "Stop that. Please." That was the first thing I could blurt out. I did not react well to pity or sympathy. If anything, I preferred to be scorned and detested. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was powerless. I couldn't do a thing. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Wait. Are these my lines?
I don't know. That line right there makes me think it's someone else.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it was him.
Isn't it Raziel speaking?
Okay. Go ahead.
I actually can't even see the script stream.
Wait, what?
Oh, you can't see it?
No.
It should be up. Can everyone else see it?
I can't.
I can see it just
Yeah,
fine.
I can see it.
Is it a loading screen for you, or is it just like black or something?
Okay, I left and then came back and it's fine now. Sorry.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
The miserable poor man. How my heart bleeds for you. I recall the days when I still lived as my old self, when I was showered by such words. Why?
Because I hate it. Raziel briefly nodded.
I have never in my life hated a person. I looked upon Adam's lament and gave him my book, teaching him of the importance of technology, knowledge, and information. But everything is starting to lose meaning. God has forsaken us. Heaven, hell, and the mortal realm are lost. All that remains is Tokyo Babel, half refuge, half battlefield. May I speak honestly for a moment?
Go ahead.
It's tough, unbearable, sad and frustrating. I wish I could destroy, go on a rampage. I want to cry, to scream at the top of my lungs.
Raziel's expression mirrored the complexity of her turbulent emotions.
Were we mistaken?
Hmm?
Are the demons correct? Are the angels? How should mortals live their lives? Is complete destruction truly his will?
I truly don't know. Silence. Plenty of time must have passed. I began counting the sounds of raindrops against the earth to the best of my abilities. 13,834. 26,567.
My book will surely hold the answer.
Safer Raziel, the book she had lost, the tome with all knowledge contained within. I abruptly realized something. Raziel, is that book your raison d'etre?
Yes. The Sefer Raziel means everything to me. It is my very being. As long as it's not with me, I'm unable to confirm my very self.
Raziel's shoulders drooped forward. She too had yet to find her raison d'etre, in a manner of speaking. Or rather, she had lost sight of it. Neither of us had value to our current lives. I had yet to find it. She had already lost it. That was the only difference.
By the way, the reason I'm prone to falling asleep regardless of the time of day is precisely because I lack my book, which turned my raison d'etre vague and uncertain.
That's not true. You know it. I replied immediately. Raziel broke out in a sweat. She most likely did not expect me to deliver that line, considering the circumstances.
How did you...
According to Lilith, your tendency to fall asleep at a moment's notice had been famous even before you lost your book.
I don't know what she's making.
Raziel sunk to her knees by letting out the strangest of moans. Also, I would prefer you did not fall asleep in the middle of an important conversation. My follow-up sentence delivered the final blow, and Raziel, a bit reluctantly, got back up on her feet.
As important conversations drag on, I always find myself getting sleepy.
I say the same could apply to me, but you're generally not the type who can read the mood either, right?
Come on now. I can always read the mood. I read it like a lullaby and let myself.
I thought it best to whack Raziel on the head, yet she suddenly went on in the same tragically spaced out tone.
My book. Gotta go to the library.
It appears she wished to reach the library. I knew a place and could have easily taken her, but she was still asleep. This was quite a conundrum. Picked the only option I had. Letting out a resigned sigh, I slipped my arms beneath Raziel's knees, lifting her up into my embrace. I switched to full-on sleep mode, which meant I couldn't just piggyback her. Still, carrying her around like this, I was helping an injured comrade on the battlefield, which have most certainly qualify as, this is really dodgy, even by my standards. That in mind, I concluded this form to be the most appropriate in this situation. Our appearance drew a number of gazes from fellow students, but I thought it would cause too much of a stir. Manny?
Pardon my thoughtless remark, but what exactly are you doing?
Belial called out to us in an uncharacteristically polite tone. She told me to take her to the library.
She did?
She did. After a few seconds of silent contemplation, Belial left, vanishing behind a corner. But not before he peeked back from beyond said corner to say one final thing.
Take your time, you two.
Take our time with what? Either way, I hurried onwards to the library. The sheer majesty of the place left me in awe. The way it appeared from the outside certainly did not do its interior justice. A series of unnaturally tall bookshelves lined its halls, towering above us like colossal spires. The Dantalions gently drifted from bookshelf to bookshelf, making certain that each volume was in its rightful place. Dantalion was a demon possessing multiple personalities, all of which had now gained a body of their own here at Tokyo Babel. They all turned in my direction the moment I entered the library.
You again. Wait. What are you doing?
James to do that line too.
Oh, do both of them?
Yeah, you all
okay. And why is that angel asleep?
She told me to take her to the library.
I see. In that case, the section she had been investigating is over there.
Much appreciated. Go for it.
Don't forget to put the books back. Don't forget to put the books back once you're done.
I took off, flying towards the direction the Dantalions had just shown me.
Far be it from me to criticize, but you certainly have some guts, carrying her around in a princess hold like that.
Princess Hold? Is that the name of this position?
Oh, pay us no heed. Despite being an angel, she certainly reminds me more of a Belphegor.
Muttering underneath their breaths, Dantalions promptly returned to their work. Once I read a designated bookshelf, I gave Raziel's cheek a light pinch.
That's all books?
Raziel's eyes flickered open as she sniffed the air. Indeed, the smell was unmistakably that of ancient books. Not the most pleasant of scents, though. However, once Raziel fully awakened and took in her present situation, I decided not to say another word.
By the way, how come I'm in the library?
Well, you see, I carried you here.
I remember the last time I asked Lilith to take me to the library when I grew too sleepy to walk. She responded with, "Sure thing, Raziel, but don't come crying to me if you land in the wrong place," and then kicked me into the air. I wondered if you had done the same thing this time.
I did not. I most certainly did not. Wasn't quite sure what to think of Raziel after hearing she would prefer someone launch her into air as opposed to giving in to sleep.
This position is comfortable, though.
To latch onto my neck.
We should keep going like this.
Understood. I could have refused, yet found no reason to do so. On the other hand, I got the feeling I really should have.
Oh, the books come to me just by pointing at them.
Raziel, you're an angel, you know. You not at least have the strength to take out the books yourself? My question made her throw a confident glance in my way.
God frowns upon idleness.
Tendo Setsuna. You have our permission to whack her. In fact, we implore that you do. Witty comebacks are a fundamentally important element in Japanese communication. You needn't hold back.
But I think Raziel was serious.
That makes things even worse.
A fair point, and then I felt my duty to deliver at least a light flick to her forehead.
Ow! Why do you resort to violence? God condemns such actions, you know.
She wasn't being particularly persuasive, though. Either way, I should first look at yourself before talking of harmful idleness. Raziel cocked her head to the side, her expression one of puzzlement. She was aware of it.
I wouldn't call being comfortable harmful idleness.
Her expression once again turned tense, eliciting two simultaneous sighs from the Dantalions.
Oh, you're in complete awe.
More like in complete shock. Ultimately, Raziel's position remained unchallenged, forcing me to carry her around at Princess Hold during the entirety of our stay at the library.
I think I got the picture. Raziel tired herself out again and fell asleep, right?
So we worked our butts off talking to the other two candidates.
While you two spent the day being all lovey-dovey in public.
Nelly.
We
You
weren't
weren't being
being lovey-dovey.
We replied in unison, which only made Lilith and Sorami glare at us with renewed contempt. For some reason. Well, to be fair, I had an idea as to why. Because until just recently, I was still carrying Raziel around at Princess Hold. Sorami and Lilith ultimately forced us to sit on the tatami, though.
So, you crossed the hallways to come back here all the way from the library, right? Do you have any idea how many humans, angels, and demons bore witness to this little trip of yours?
I do recall encountering a number of different students and teachers, now that I think about it.
I never knew a duo of airheads could be such a force to reckon with. But thanks for the reminder, you big fat idiot, you!
Sorami had been persistently writing down a number of low kicks on my back for a while now. The technique was solid enough to put me in pain just a little bit.
Sorami, could you kindly give that a rest? Thanks. He's gonna be here any minute now.
Nelly.
He?
Because she had been talking about. I would guess that some thought had her door not been violently flung open as Camael leaped into the room with an expression of profound fury.
Oh god. Any naughty kids around?
Raziel screamed at the top of her lungs as she sprang up into the air, all the while maintaining her sitting position. I couldn't help but wonder, why did one of the most outstandingly belligerent angels, the commander of over 12,000 angels of destruction, burst into a room dressed as Namahage? Went so far as to do a Donna massive Namahage mask and brandish a considerably large, lengthy cleaver. A fearsome entry, all things considered.
Found you, naughty boys and girls. Is that you, The two miscreants who dared disrupt law and order?
Lilith and Sorami both pointed at us.
It's them.
It's them.
Alright then. Get ready for one hell of a spanking, ugly ducklings.
I had a hard time placing his accent. His voice was entirely too loud, with a murderous glint in his eye, a fearsome look, all things considered. Ultimately, Camael, the unlikely head of the Public Morals Committee, forced us to sit through several hours of his lecturing.
Blah blah blah, blah-de-blog, blog.
All I hear are blargs.
Blarg?
I hastily covered Raziel's mouth with my palm as Camael eyeballed us with a curious gaze. She spoke, by all means, please, continue. I threw a bit of look at Lilith and Sorami, both of whom was sitting at the dining table. The moment our eyes met, they turned the other way in a sulky huff. They still appeared to be furious of the fact that I carried Raziel around in princess hold. Oh, wait a second. In other words, if I carried him off in a princess hold as well, this entire issue could be resolved. Urged by the conclusion, I began to stand up, only to be met with a dual strike of teacups right in my face.
Huh? What's gotten into you two all of a sudden?
Oh, nothing much. That buffoon over there was planning to do something extremely rude to us is all.
What she said.
Another sort of pain assaulted me. Then, one different from what the teacups had inflicted upon me, still massaging my cheeks from that attack, I looked to the side to discover a pouting Raziel pinching me in the side.
I have no idea what's going on here, but you have my heartfelt sympathies.
Ended up earning Camael's sympathy, of all people.
Anyway, I'm done lecturing you guys, so let's move on to the other matter at hand.
Camael removed his mask, once again becoming the angel we all knew. Raziel and I exhaled a sigh of relief as both of us were given permission to stop sitting in one place. Raziel collapsed onto the floor, her legs having gone entirely too numb. For the record, I had no such problems.
How come you're fine?
I turned towards the astonished Raziel, explaining that I'd been able to avoid the same fate as her by forcing my veins to pump blood into my legs. This all made possible through the power of nanomachines. As to declare that, Raziel glared at me with a gaze that could kill.
That's so unfair.
I'm surprised that it's giving you, an angel, so much difficulty.
You...
Alright, I shall give you a hand. I probably grabbed hold of Raziel's thumb and pulled on it with all my strength, ignoring the creaking noises it made. It didn't take long till her blood flow returned to normal. Raziel moved her legs around a bit, looking at them in sheer amazement.
They're healed.
Glad to hear that.
I'm still a bit mad, but thanks.
I uttered a quick, "You're welcome," in response, then turned my attention back to Camael.
May I, continue now?
There's a certain timidity in his tone I couldn't quite explain. Either way, I did want him to continue.
Your request has been evaluated, and I hereby grant you permission to begin your pilgrimage and head towards the second strata of Akihabara.
The moment the words left Camael's lips, a palpable wave of tension washed across the room.
Cool.
On the other hand, it had just been my imagination as Lilith jumped forward with her fist casually thrust into the air.
I've read your report. Abdiel ought to be somewhere between the second and fourth strata. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, probably. On the other hand, we can't rule out the possibility of the Nasters killing each other off either.
Nonetheless, we need to operate the assumption that Abdiel was alive, just to be on the safe side.
So we're up against Abdiel.
Camael wore a mask of contempt, mingling with nostalgia as he uttered the words. Did you resent him? Camael considered my question for a moment, his face contorting into a stern frown.
I can't say for certain. That man was, how do I put, difficult to understand.
Well, I'm not surprised a jock angel like you wouldn't find common ground with him.
He didn't even get along with the intellectuals.
Wait, the angels had jocks and intellectuals?
This new piece of information left Sorami utterly perplexed.
By the way, does Abdiel have any trademark weapons or stuff?
Let me think. As far as I know, he became a mere foot soldier after leaving Lucifer's army, with only a shield and a longsword at his side.
And during his rebellion?
Good question. You have to forgive me, but I didn't directly partake in the battle. Based on what I heard, though, he didn't appear to wield any blades of high renown.
He could have wielded a nameless weapon, but we had no way of knowing its power.
Honestly, that makes me even more uneasy. I prefer things to be straightforward, like with a Levatian.
Keeping the nature of one's weapon a secret from a friend and foe alike is the ironclad rule of a soldier's life. A commander would be another story, though.
That makes sense. A commander would need to wield a feigned holy blade, lest he cease to be a commander. And for Abdiel, he fought the front lines, revealing his weapon's true nature would only spell his doom.
Wouldn't his former comrades know something?
Lucifer's best men headed out of Tokyo Babel to search for him, and then they up and vanished.
Right. That did happen.
Camael's shoulders slumped forward.
As for his raison d'etre, we're pretty much in the dark, I guess.
A traitor's reason for being is hardly what I could ever hope to understand. Traitor or not, Abdiel was not one to be comprehended easily.
Thanks. Anyway, guess we'll be leaving in about 2 days.
Very well. And try not to end up as masters yourself, alright?
Hear that? An angel's rowing for me. Oh, just you wait. We'll be singing Kumbaya together in no time.
Camael shook his head, meeting Lilith's enthusiasm with a brief, "Enough of your jokes."
No, I mean, I would rather avoid seeing you to succumb to madness like that. This doesn't have anything to do with strength, though. The very thought just sends a shiver down my spine.
I'm in complete agreement on both accounts.
I don't know what he meant, but I agree too.
No comment. Lilith gave each of us a knock on the head. Why'd she include me?
Ever heard of collective responsibility? Well, that's why. Besides, no comment is basically like staying silent because it's obvious you agree with the rest.
Couldn't exactly deny that I had something along those lines in mind. Lilith also let us know that they would only be observers, neither stopping nor aiding Sorami on a pilgrimage. I let out a sigh. My life was in my hands that one failed to protect 10 billion lives. Yet what astonished me even more was Sorami's response.
Oh, okay. Guess that's that then. Let's do our best.
The discussion ended before I had even had a chance to start. Her declaration left Lilith and Raziel dumbfounded, both of whom went on to repeatedly remind her of the journey's dangers.
So if Setsuna falls, likely end up dying yourself.
Come on, Lilith. That's the third time you're telling me that. I get it, okay? We barely know anything about who we're up against. Setsuna's not in his top condition. We can't know for certain what Akihabara will look like, and so on and so forth. So I might die. Or be killed, kick the bucket, and buy the farm while I'm at it. Is that what you had in mind?
Yes. Aren't you afraid?
Sorami shook her head, surprised Lilith would even ask something like that. She seemed genuine about it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to die, sure. But it's just a possibility, you know? And Setsuna dying while I survive would kinda... I don't know.
Leave a bitter aftertaste?
Sorami cocked her head to the side.
Not quite that. But it's kind of like... Right. Like there was no point even trying to argue it. I had to go too.
I strongly disagree. Unlike us, you're just an ordinary person.
Oh, I'm plenty special. I'd die instantly if I tried to fight, but still.
Then why?
I have a role to fill in this group, don't I?
Sorami glared at me, her iris flashing gold for her heartbeat.
If I can be of use, I'll go. I could end up dying that way, but I'll do my best so it never comes to that. And you'll have my back as well, Setsuna. Right?
Her words rang with more than just mere trust. I couldn't explain what it was myself. I barely knew anything about her. In fact, the same could possibly be said about Sorami herself. I can, however, give her my promise. I vow to do my best for her sake, no matter the means. However, I was neither complete nor perfect. Right. I'd like to say I can keep you alive against all odds, but that'd be untrue. There will always be some level of danger. The level of danger that is remains to be unseen until it comes to actually having to fight. Even so, if, despite all that, you still do not mind having me at your side...
I don't mind at all. I'm happy to entrust my life to you, Setsuna.
That's all it took. The response came instantly, without hesitation. There's no anguish, nor zealous conviction in her eyes, only stalwart determination.
You really are something else. You know that?
Lilith shook her head, her tone wary with resignation. Sorami flashed a smile, as if embarrassed by her own speech. Once Sorami was fast asleep, me, Lilith, and Raziel made our way to the rooftop. Just the three of us.
Gotta say, humans never fail to fascinate me.
So entirely too clear that she had meant Sorami.
I'd rather say it's Kugutsu Sorami in particular who's one of a kind.
Would agree with that.
Well, now we have a battle we cannot lose, no matter what. So I guess it's all good.
I cast my gaze upwards to behold the blinking stars. Speaking of which, I couldn't discern any constellations. I assumed they weren't the same stars one would see from Earth.
Those stars are merely specks of light we angels have filled the sky with. Only the moon hangs at a fixed position.
In other words, it was a fake, makeshift sky.
Everything you see here is an imitation. Well, I'm kind of fond of it personally.
The campus, students, teachers, entire cityscape, all fake. Around endless uncertainties, where one needed a clear identity to survive. Suddenly extended my hand, reaching out towards the skies above. In this purgatory of lies, the largest imitation, the biggest imposter, had to be me. I was human, but not quite. Someone tremendously close to humanity, yet tragically far removed from it at the same time. For a brief moment, caught the past had turned me into such a man.
Anyway, I guess I'll be off. Coming, Raziel?
No, I'll stay here a little while longer.
Okay.
Smiling, Lilith leapt off the rooftop. What was I to do? Return to her room, all I could do was wait for morning to come. The problem instead was Raziel. If I left her up here all alone, she could end up dozing off again. Raziel, how long do you plan to stay up here?
Until I'm satisfied.
We only fall asleep before that happened. Yet, she simply gazed up at the night sky, showing not the slightest intention of leaving. Is there something up in the sky?
Nothing at all. The arrangement of the stars is sporadic, though due to the negligence of a certain dim-witted angel. I believe the idea was something as trivial and pointless as the starry sky did not need to be faithfully recreated. I wonder if they get mad at me for making a few corrections.
And that was something like that would warrant a scolding. Raziel nodded, then when she lifted her arm, the stars gently began to shift in their positions.
8477 can go to 3451, 31415 to 20. I'll try to make it similar to the sky you'd see in Japan.
Every time Raziel moved her hands, the stars changed positions, their movements reminding me of shooting stars. Beautiful. Raziel halted her movements and appeared slightly agitated. She turned to me, inquiring in a timid tone.
The stars, you mean?
What else would I have meant? I appear to have become the target for indiscriminate violence quite frequently as of late.
Okay, I'm done.
The sky indeed transformed into that of Japan. Still, it was not the same. I could see Orion, Summer Triangle, and even Pegasus.
I think it's nice to have an ample variation.
Show off. I've been better to keep them in proper order. Kimo was furious once he found out, but that was another matter entirely.
Not again.
Raziel began nodding off, gradually switching to sleep mode. Indeed, there was neither the time nor the place. Just as I was about to wake her up, I preferred to avoid another commotion like last time, and head back to the night duty room. Raziel's eyes shot open in a fraction of a second.
Who's there?
I too had become aware of the presence, shortly after Raziel.
Apologies, it's just me.
Words came as a whisper, a slender form blending into the night. Eve, the young woman following Adam around.
Eve.
Raziel's expression shifted to one of bewilderment. Adam appeared to not be with her this time. Eve, the first, no, second woman created.
What's wrong?
Raziel appeared to have already met Eve before. If I remember correctly, Raziel once lent the original Adam her book.
Have you managed to find the Sefer, Raziel?
Not yet.
Eve knit her brows, expressions concerned.
Left behind on Earth? In other words,
It was gone for good. Before Eve could finish that thought, Raziel quickly interjected.
No, my book is in Tokyo Babel.
are you absolutely certain?
I am. If that book was to completely disappear, I would know. The same way people experience a certain feeling of loss upon a loved one's death, I too would know if my book had ceased to be.
Is so.
Was there nothing else you wished to ask?
Actually, I would love to chat about old times.
A nervous smile followed. Raziel looked at Eve, confused.
Why?
Because the memories are beginning to grow dim.
I think it cut out.
What, the stream?
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
the stream has frozen for me.
How about now?
It's still stuck on that same line.
Is it like this for everyone, or?
It looks fine to me.
It's the same. It's stuck.
Maybe try leaving and rejoining.
Lenny still having issues, or
Yeah, still having issues.
did you try leaving and joining?
I can try that now.
It's still on the same slide for me.
Okay, it's not just me. Alright.
What's the last word you see?
Willing to listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do the whole line.
You're not here?
Yeah, just do the line again.
Oh, sorry.
I think you're like I don't know about anybody else, but your lines were cutting out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cut out after you said dim.
Yeah, that's where it cut out for me too.
Okay. Because the memories are beginning to grow dim, and so I wander these premises, asking.
Can you start again from asking? You cut out there.
Oh, okay. Was there something wrong with my mic? That's weird. I'll try it one more time. Because the memories are beginning to grow dim, so I wander these premises, asking all those willing to listen.
Dim?
Indeed, I would assume that the tremendous amount of combat data is to blame. My memories of the past have begun to fade into obscurity like fleeting dreams.
Combat data? You mean the data I handed over to Adam's designers?
The one and the same.
Raziel's expression grew stern with suspicion.
I was under the impression they would implant that to Adam, and him alone.
He had no capacity to hold it all. Adam may have been created to be the perfect warrior. Everything else was cast aside as a result.
Cast aside? To what extent? Eve's expression clouded over at my abrupt question.
He completely discarded his capacity to express feelings. For instance, human emotions appeared only to hinder him.
Did he do this to prevent madness from overtaking his mind?
Yes, so that nothing would move him, so that he could remain impartial in any and all situations. All necessary traits for a successful pilgrimage.
I wonder if someone like that can still be called human.
Eve responded to Ms. Raziel's misgivings with a calm, straightforward answer.
They can. No matter what others may claim, Adam is most certainly a human being.
The long silence was ultimately broken by Raziel.
I see.
You two will embark on a pilgrimage as well, right?
Yes, 2 days from now, same as you. Far be it from me to call it a competition, but I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. And what about your guardian angel and demon? Astaroth and Camael are out of the question, I take it?
We have no guardians. It's just the two of us. Me and Adam. I'd say we don't even need any.
Still, be on your guard out there. The Masters are very much capable of overturning even the harshest of odds.
So can Adam.
Eve appeared to have unyielding faith in Adam's prowess. Then again, he was meant to be the crowning achievement of the angel's labors. He must have been, beyond a shadow of a doubt, immensely powerful.
I understand that, but
As long as the masters command their raison d'etre, one must never let their guards down. A gentle smile crept into Eve's lips as she shook her head in response.
Adam is invincible. I merely wish to convey that simple fact to Tendo Setsuna.
Whatever it was that had been accumulated within my heart up to that point now sprang to the surface. No one is invincible.
Until now, maybe. At the very least, however, you personally have no way of defeating him.
I never had any intention to fight him in the first place.
Are you certain of that fact? The fire I saw in your eyes. Oh, I assure you, it spoke of an insatiable lust for blood.
For a heartbeat, I was left speechless. I recall what I had thought this time, a fierce torrent of emotions that may or may not have been animosity and contempt. I only met him once, therefore no reason to test him, let alone fight him. I was loath to call him a friend, yet we're in the same boat, sharing a common goal. Despite all that, though, I somehow must have been imagining things. He answered calmly, forcefully washing my mind clear of the memory, ignoring it like one would pesky gum on the back of their shoes.
Oh, is that so? I'm happy to hear that.
And when I ought to cooperate, if there's anything at all that troubles you, do not hesitate to tell me. You smiled, thanking me.
Lilith and I are here to help too. In exchange, I'd like you to inform us once you find our goal.
That goes without saying. In any event, I'll excuse myself if you don't mind.
Raziel watched her exit the rooftop with a curious expression. Upon reaching the fence, however, Eve turned around once again.
One more thing, Raziel. If we ever come across your book, we'll be sure to notify you. And with that, I bid you two a good evening.
Eve took off, leaving only the two of us on the rooftop. Raziel had been acting strange for a while now, visibly bothered by something. Something wrong?
I was just wondering, has Eve always been like that? I could have sworn she used to be somewhat different.
If that were the case, when I met her recently, I cannot know what she used to be like. To cuddle with Raziel's hand, still very much unsettled by what had just happened, the two of us returned to our room. Eve only sighed as a viciously cold chill rushed up to her spine, displaying not a hint of surprise.
You totally did.
You did. I have, however, grown accustomed to your abrupt enters.
A nervous smile sat upon her lips.
Sorry.
Sleep.
Like a baby, yes.
Okay, because he's got plenty of work ahead of him, right?
Indeed he does.
Anyway, what about him? I want to hear your opinion.
He is harmless, although he does harbor an unusual amount of enmity towards Adam. The two of them are hardly meant to fight, nor could he ever hope to defeat Adam in any event.
His chances are pretty good, though.
Because he is one of his kind?
Well, maybe. You see, he lived through events surpassing even the wildest dreams of every person in any of the other parallel worlds.
I believe my sister called their meeting an unexpected encounter.
I guess she did say something along those lines.
Even still, he has yet to find an answer as to why he even exists. It makes me wonder if he'll ever be able to defeat Abdiel in the second stratum.
I need to interfere?
Christina, you're kind of cutting out at times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird. Guess so. Do I need to interfere?
That is difficult for me to determine. However, I believe it is acceptable to a certain degree.
It's another one of God's trials, right?
Indeed, another of God's many trials.
Eve watched in silence as Samuel left, softly giggling to herself. You know what? Someone else narrate. Manny, wanna give it a try?
The only objects in Adam and Eve's room were a set of beds and a table, surrounded by white walls, lifeless and empty. The place existed only for the purpose of sleeping, without as much as a book or two to satisfy one's thirst for knowledge in solitude. Yet Adam felt such a state of affairs to be all but natural, for he was stripped of emotions and found no use for books that would serve little purpose to him. He had no need of recreation, nor anything to possess. Similarly, he did not feel the need to decorate his walls with pictures he never found beautiful in the first place. Adam sat up as Eve entered the room, having been alerted to her presence.
Where have you been?
I simply went for a walk.
Adam's nostrils twitched ever so slightly.
Did you meet with someone?
I did. Our old friend Raziel, as well as Tendu Setsuna, were both on the rooftop, and we spent a few minutes chatting.
I know Raziel, but this Tendo Setsuna... Oh, he's the man we met not too long ago, correct?
Adam struck his palm as he recalled the name, eliciting a brief giggle from Eve.
Yes, the young man we met briefly in the hallway.
And what business did Raziel have with him?
Well, she did some of his guardian angel. Did become his guardian angel. Which reminds me, their group is preparing to set out for a second stratum as well.
Really? Does this Tendo Setsuna possess the necessary power to topple the second stratum?
Adam observed the young man upon meeting, and indeed, found nothing objectionable about his physical prowess. However, he lacked a soul to drive him. He lacked a raison d'etre.
I have heard of his victory over Gethel at the first stratum, yet she was merely a virtue. Defeating her hardly meant a thing. Those with a loose grip on their own reason for being could never hope to emerge victorious here at Tokyo Babel.
Eve nodded in agreement.
I feel the same way, and very much doubt he possesses the strength to clear the second stratum. However, my sister thinks highly of him.
Lilith had extremely high hopes for Tendu Setsuna. She thinks of him with joy, anticipation, and sadness alike.
I would say she is mistaken.
Adam displayed an unusually rare interest in Tendu Setsuna, yet Eve felt that only natural. She decided to voice an idea she had just come upon.
Now that I think about it, why don't we have a bet?
A bet?
If he discovers his raison d'etre and defeats the master of the second stratum, I win. If you do, you win. How about it?
Adam looked at the giggling Eve with a touch of hesitation in his eyes.
Was God ever fond of bets?
I believe he would allow this much.
Adam finally nodded in consent.
Very well. Let us do this. The question is, what do we bet?
The question left Eve herself puzzled. What indeed would they bet?
I do need to think about this.
Money was out of the question. Not that it would have held any meaning at this point. A treasured item would have been a better choice, yet they weren't in possession of anything that could be wagered.
Attempting to rush this won't lead us anywhere. We should think about what to wager until the bet concludes.
I agree. There's no need to hurry.
Adam nodded. Eve met it with a smile, filling her heart with a touch of warmth.
Two days later.
Backpack, check. Compass, check. Map, check. Snacks, check.
We're not gonna need a compass or a map, though.
Oh, don't be like that. It's just for the mood.
We had all made the necessary preparations before embarking to Akihabara, the second stratum. That said, all I really needed were 9 packs of high concentration liquid nutrients in case I was in need of energy.
Yahoo, Setsuna. Could you do a little checkup on your pocket dimension?
Understood. The Pikati sword would only be in the way on our waist or back, so we ended up storing it in a pocket dimension. After concentrating magical energy onto my palm, I thrust my hand into the empty air. Once I grabbed hold of the handle, I pulled and...
Wow, it's like a magic trick.
The sword of 7 deadly sins was right there in my hands.
Awesome. Seems like you've got the hang of it. With some practice, you'll be able to do it pretty much unconsciously.
I was content to do it like this for the time being. As I shyly glanced in Sorami's direction, I started to stuff a great many things into her borrowed backpack. Lilith was carefully applying her makeup. She said something about natural beauty, but I didn't feel this had anything to do with our journey. Raziel was busy leafing through a guidebook about Akihabara, no doubt with the intention of picking up a few books. I wasn't quite certain if this fake Akihabara had a proper inventory, just like the original. More importantly, though, what was she thinking? Looking for books in there?
Oh, it's fine. I can hear you. Wait, sorry. Oh, it's fine. I hear you can find plenty of interesting books at Akihabara.
You're not going for sightseeing, though.
If I remember correctly, Akihabara is that city where people parade through the trees in cosplay, right?
I smell a big stinky misunderstanding here.
Sorami thrust her hand into the air to interject, and the three of them promptly lunged into a lively argument as I watched the chaos unfold, sighing to myself, "Will this trip really go well?" In any event, we saw towards the front gates. Despite its name, though, no students would ever walk through them on their way to or from school. And door had an entirely different gate that would lead to the numerous strata of Tokyo Babel.
Normally, it's the angels who guard the gate, but seeing how their numbers kind of dwindled as of late, we demons take turns with them.
Raziel glanced at the nearby bulletin board.
Let's see. It says here that it's Belial's turn today.
To think someone as powerful as him was on guard duty, the angels and demons must have been seriously low in people. Lilith's face abruptly contorted in pain.
Okay, let's postpone this until tomorrow.
A hand reached out from a nearby pocket dimension, clutching Lilith's shoulder.
I've got to say, that attitude of yours is about as offensive as the makeup you have plastered on your face.
What's offensive about this? It's natural makeup. It looks super duper natural and is anything but offensive. You unwashed peasant, you.
Lilith exploded in uncontrolled rage.
Your very existence is offensive.
Belial, I think you've said enough for one day.
Why? If it isn't old Raziel, still got your tablet chock full of Belial, eh?
I don't!
Raziel flushed rather than a ripe apple.
Raziel.
You still read that kind of stuff?
The two girls drew back a few steps, felt the need to come forward and ask, Raziel, what is BL? An expression never existed in my world.
You see, BL's about...
Gotcha!
Raziel swiftly covered my ears, blocking about 90% of external sounds. What was I to do? Maybe I was better off not learning about this? Yet my curiosity would not subside. I amplified my hearing, intent on learning whatever it was that BL entailed from Belial's explanation.
Well, I guess a picture's worth 1,000 words, so here you go. Look.
And then?
Look, Setsuna slowly losing his faith in humanity.
Oh boy. Setsuna's about to find out what it means to be an adult. And, Lilith, I think Raziel's about this close to bawling her eyes out.
He sure knows how to be expressive at times like this despite being so emotionless normally. But I have decided not to extend a helping hand and merely watch the events before me unfold.
Shh, it's alright. You were just a bit startled, right?
She wriggled her finger around the air. Was she trying to imitate a flying snake with it or something?
This might as well be the equivalent of smoking in the middle of a gunpowder warehouse or using pages of the Bible as toilet paper in front of a group of angels.
Belial, who serves as the catalyst for all of this, was leaning against a wall a short distance away. His broad smile was clear evidence that he was immensely enjoying this. Raziel. Quite the timing.
Yes?
It's quite alright. Do not judge people, angels based on their hobbies.
I see. Thanks.
I went on. Everyone's pulling my gaze away from the image displayed on her tablet. By the way, why is this man hurting the other one whilst calling him a bad boy? Is he not the bad one, considering he is attacking his fellow man? One more thing. What does this "it's a full moon tonight" expression mean exactly? Does the moon have a certain significance here? And why is the moon supposedly full when this manga takes place on the night of a new moon? Is the story set in another world? Also, he's pleading with this girl to hand her father over to him, which is fine, but was she not the protagonist's fiance? I do not believe they had the kind of relationship where she would just give her blessing without hesitation. Oh, and with their lovemaking, as in putting the this and that, not, in fact, it required ample amounts of prior preparation with something like Vaseline to be more specific. Raziel coughed up part of her soul, then promptly collapsed.
Whoa, don't you go dying on us before we even start our journey! Hey!
It's okay. People and angels each have their own hobbies. As long as it doesn't affect people negatively, it should be fine.
Raziel was already back on her feet, her expression clear and refreshed. Her words, not so much.
I'm not sure how a human would feel after seeing that, though.
Now she was down on the ground, again at a record speed.
Belial, could you give it a rest? We won't ever leave at this rate. There, I signed it.
Thanks. Man, I never thought this would be our last conversation.
Kindly don't go setting up any death flags before we even leave, Professor Kumamoto.
I'll be seeing you in class if you make it back in one piece.
Once this is over, I want to take another one of your classes. Wait a sec, that's totally a death flag!
Let's get married if you make it back alive.
He's piling on those death flags like nobody's business.
No! Stop it! You old geezer!
Don't you think that's a bit of a rude way to call one of the world's highest ranking demon lords?
Sorami was landing a series of light punches on Belial's chest. He felt on edge the entire time watching them talk, yet Belial himself did not seem insulted at all. It seemed like demon lords weren't ones to be angered by every little thing.
Well, whatever. I'll be opening up the gate to the second stratum. Come along now.
One stood before the gate, about 100 meters tall and forged of white stone. Sorami gazed up in its awe, craning her neck in a painful-looking angle.
Yeah, there's no way the laws of physics apply to this, right?
He was right. We've easily seen a gate this large from the campus.
We're in the fantasy world, remember?
Lilith shrugged. Fantasy or not, the laws of physics were being completely disregarded. That much was true. Belial handed us a golden and silver key, tiny enough that no one would assume they opened a gate like this.
Tendu Sensuna. Kugutsu Sorami.
Yeah, that's right.
May you journey across these streets in search of God's sign. Meet the masters in battle and emerge victorious with your own very own raison d'etre on the line.
As both of us nodded, Belial retreated a few steps. We approached the stone gate, discovering 2 open keyholes, each small in size. After managing to figure out which key fit into which hole, Sorami and I proceeded to insert them at the same time. The door began to creak open. The sound of thundering blow of the earth. Beyond the gate awaited us a space white and pure.
Alright then. Akihabara, here we come.
Hey you, not so fast. This girl will be the death of me.
Sorami dashed forward, with Lilith giving chase from behind. Raziel and I elected to walk.
Books.
I meant to ask if she was thinking of BL books, but stopped myself as soon as I realized it would only lead to a repeat performance of what transpired a short while back. So, Akihabara, the second stratum, had a master of its own, transformed the landscape to match said master's character. Abdiel's character, huh? A fallen warrior who rebelled against angels and demons alike.
What we learned from Kurou Miyako, as well as Abdiel's antidotes should give us some room for speculation.
After a few moments of thinking, I spoke up. She's immensely wary of physical contact with other people.
Exactly, and Abdiel himself had separated from both the angels and demons. In fact, he went so far as to fight them with all he had.
Relentless and thorough rejection of physical contact.
In short, the world those two created is one forged from the concept of rejection.
We left the white light behind, stepping into darkness thick enough to prevent us from orienting ourselves. Thankfully, we had something to follow. A faint light. The voices of Sorami and Lilith echo from its general direction.
Hey, you two! We found the gate.
Come on, hurry! Looks like this thing will open unless...
You cut out there.
Sorry, my whole screen just went black.
What?
Looks like this thing won't open unless Setsuna's here.
It appeared this new gate required a key to be opened too. We hurried onwards, chasing after their voices, through the darkness of the passageway, surrounded my vision, tracing my fingers along the stone's surface, allowing me to analyze and identify as a massive obsidian gate, not entirely unlike the white one we had just left behind. Light seeped in through its keyhole, making it easier to locate. Sorami and I once again inserted our keys simultaneously. This time, the gate slid open without as much as a peep.
This is Akihabara?
Sorami took in her devastated surroundings with an uneasy glance. We're in a world ruled by Kurou, Miyako, and Abdiel, a realm embodying the concept of rejection.
Watch your steps, Sorami. You wouldn't want to trip up around here.
We beheld a city of spikes, its sharp instruments covering roads, buildings, and trees alike as far as the eye can see. Spikes to keep out intruders, rejecting all. The skies were the bright orange of dusk, with all its clouds hanging still, unmoving. Time had halted. I speculated the phenomenon to be a form of time manipulation on Abdiel's part, a manifestation of his rejection of both angels and demons, light and darkness.
I doubt I'm going to be finding any books here.
Raziel hung her head dejectedly while Sorami inspected the nearby streets with binoculars, mounting a few surprised wows and woes in the process.
Akiba sure has changed.
That was quite an understatement. Lilith, wearing a serious expression, let her fingers slide along a nearby spike, eventually picking it up. The moment she did, though, it shattered like a piece of fragile glass. Its tiny splinters injured her hand, making a few drops of blood gush forth.
You okay, Lilith?
Oh, this? It kinda hurts a bit, I guess.
Sorami wasted no time pulling out a set of bandages from her backpack to treat Lilith's hand.
Alright, you're good to go now.
Thanks.
Lilith averted her gaze in embarrassment. She could have easily closed up a wound of that caliber in less than a minute. In fact, her bleeding may have already stopped. She must have been simply grateful for the gesture alone. Meanwhile, Raziel was stubbornly loitering around a nearby bookstore's entrance. I wish she would just give up on this already. With that in mind, I gave her shoulders a light tap. We meant to move forward, not get bogged down at a place like this. We also need to figure out how these spikes came to be. As we set out, I decided to take Sorami's hand, just to be on the safe side. This would allow me to react faster should anything occur.
Huh?
Sorami shot a sheepish look my way, unable to comprehend my actions. It's gonna be safe for you to stay next to me. You're the only person I need to protect out here.
You know.
Yes? Blushing, Sorami glanced back and forth between my face and our locked hands.
You're holding my hand.
I am? What of it? I kept on walking, pulling her by the hand.
Aw, look at the innocent lovebirds, completely mindless of their surroundings.
To glare at us with much interest and seemingly a hint of malice.
But why? Oh, I get it. So it can keep me safe, right?
Sorami, initially resistant, slowly calmed her fidgeting. That's the idea. We can separate, my reaction time suffers by 1/10 of a second. Sorami nodded in acceptance, and still a quick glance behind her back, flashing a broad smile.
Oh.
Okie dokie, understood. Make sure to keep me real safe, Chief.
Sorami finished off with a polite bow, which I returned in kind. My reaction surprised her, though it only took a second for her to be all smiles again. With that out of the way, we pressed onwards. Akihabara was devoid of life as far as the eye could see. The streets ruled only by hordes of inanimate objects, possibly as a reflection of the district's former emphasis on electronic goods and entertainment. Not a living soul lingered here, only objects, ever unmoving without external help, yet even they did move, be little point to them here. Mountains of electric appliances and goods, are protected or ravaged by towering spikes, melancholic sight. Sorami, endowed with Gethel's eyes, finally noticed something.
Setsuna, there's something odd about these spikes.
Didn't even feel the need to ask her to elaborate. The spikes began to squirm and wiggle. Sorami, on the ground!
Like this?
No one she did as told. Spikes came flying from all possible directions. Rejection. The city recognized every intruder as a foreign element. Its master would not be at ease until all such elements have been completely screwed and eliminated. My senses of sight, hearing, touch, and smell are coordinated to perceive the incoming bolts, analyzing and calculating their trajectory, speed, angle, form, and order of impact. I need to prioritize Sorami, then Raziel and Lilith, and finally, myself. I deflected the first medium-sized spike to reach me, making it crash into the next impending bolt. Then the next one created one long chain reaction. I kept calculating, then one stopping, repelling all incoming projectiles. The spikes are all made of metal, making their surfaces safe at the pointed tip, glassy and smooth enough to lessen my workload. This way, I only need to focus my attention on not letting their tips hit me. The incessant drizzle of spikes gradually let up, allowing silence to once again reclaim the premises.
Is it safe now?
Sorami timidly rose back to her feet. Upon seeing me nod, proceeded to dust up the grime for her skirt and legs. Naturally, plenty of spikes still littered the area, but they no longer appeared to reject us. In other words, this attack was akin to a warning of sorts. We soon shifted alertness, which will, in turn, evolve into full frontal retaliation. The real battle yet to come. Lilith, Raziel, any traces of life in the area?
Not really, no.
None.
None. With Gethel, I was able to locate her right away. One only needed to follow a long trail of bloody, tormented corpses. This place, on the other hand, was completely devoid of life, as if to stand as a constant reminder of the city's adamant rejection.
Anyway, what's the plan? Wander around a bit more?
We could also look for books.
That's only what you want, dimwit.
Lilith swiftly karate chopped Raziel on the head, eliciting a perfectly sync sigh from myself and Sorami. Those two had never lent a helping hand, regardless of the severity of the situation. How was I to proceed then?
Well, I mean, it could be a good idea to wander around a bit. My eyes will tell us where to go, I think.
What do you see now?
Well, nothing special at the moment. but I've gotten used to handling this now, so if I can just shut out all excess noise, I might be able to pick up on something.
I see. I'll be counting on you, Sorami. In all honesty, my eyes couldn't detect a thing. The city must have rejected the very act of perceiving.
Cool. Someone's counting on me. I won't let you down, I promise.
Sorami then turned to look in all directions, carefully observing her surroundings. I kept my grip on her hand firm, while kicking all stones and spikes near her feet out of the way, thus ensuring her safety. After a thorough observation of her surroundings, she appeared to have detected something.
Look! A maid cafe! That sure brings back memories. Gotta love Akihabara.
Is there someone inside?
Nope, not a soul.
Hey now.
There may be no one inside, but that doesn't mean there's nothing inside.
Really?
Oh, color me interested.
Any books?
I doubted it.
So anyway, Setsuna.
Sorami pointed a finger at me with such enthusiasm I could almost hear a sound effect accompanying it.
Why don't we go to the maid cafe? Pretty please?
Was that a request or an order? Still, I had no reason to stop her. It'd be one thing if she wanted to venture straight into her demon's lair, but this place seemed safe enough at least. Very well, let's take a look then.
Victory!
Search images, maids, and...
Raziel ran a quick search on her tablet PC. Wait, she could still connect to the net? So where would it be connecting to? With that, and a host of other concerns still lingering in my mind. I cleaned the spikes in front of Maid Cafe and somehow ended up leading the three girls inside.
Wow, it's as pretty on the inside as I imagined.
Sorami, calm down. We came here with a purpose.
You mean...
Oh, we're a sinful lot, you and I.
Lilith and Sorami were getting along frighteningly well, placing their arms around each other's shoulders. Two girls merrily trotted off towards the back. Raziel and I, having found a seat for myself next to the window, watched with a hint of attention as they vanished deep into the store.
Alright, Raziel, floor's ready for you.
What's that supposed to...
She covers Raziel's mouth and swiftly carried her off against her will, just like that. Realizing I had no control over the situation, I decided to direct my gaze at the scenery outside. Nightmarish town, pockmarked by mirror spikes, evoked the concept of this so-called hedgehog's dilemma in my mind. I means to keep just enough distance so as not to be mutually hurted. Should I have evaded this fate in such a case? Would Abdia have made a different choice? He was trying to figure it out. Sarah's sigh. It was too late for them to change their views and ideologies. I harbored no illusions of being able to convince them either. It felt completely and utterly meaningless. After all, she had already come this far enough to give birth to her very own world, driven by conviction that her way was perfect and absolute. This world of spikes had become her realm, belonging only to her, unless we conquer it. It would never fade. Yet such an action, in turn, would result in her death as well. The streets still showed no signs of life. Speaking of which, Anna was meant to come this way as well, wondering whether we were simply too far apart, or was perhaps unable to detect his presence. I hope for the former. My thoughts were interrupted by a tap on my shoulder. Sorami and the others appeared to have finished exploring the building. I was just about to suggest moving on when...
Welcome back, Master.
Sorami, wearing a maid outfit she no doubt found in the store, was flashing an unmistakably 0 yen smile in my direction. James.
Is something the matter, Lord Camael?
Oh, nothing. It's It's just that I suddenly found myself overcome by this irresistible urge to whack a certain good-for-nothing duo on the head.
You certainly seem to have your hands full.
Could you not give me that commiserating look?
Asking an angel to not feel compassion? Don't be absurd, Lord Camael. What's the matter, Belial? Found the book you were looking for, perchance?
No. It's just that I've suddenly remembered Lilith for some sort of inexplicable reason.
She's certainly not the kind of individual one would wish to abruptly remember. That much is true.
She should be at the Akihabara right about now, at the second stratum.
Akihabara, A den of rabble to rival Shinjuku, no doubt. I wonder why I have this terrible feeling about it.
Yeah, I feel the same. That mischievous she-devil is up to no good. Mark my words.
We, as Legion, cannot quite comprehend such a thing, though. Still, she appears to cause no end of trouble for Tendao Setsuna and Raziel.
You can say that again.
Belial and the Dantalions, not in firm agreement.
However, Raziel's maid outfit is very much relevant to my interests.
That I won't deny.
Why? Why did it come to this? For the first time my life was met with a scene so astounding, it left me thoroughly dumbfounded.
Welcome back!
Welcome back, Setsupu.
Yay!
A quick high five. I'm starting to get a headache. Just so we are all on the same page, what exactly are you two doing?
An improvised maid cafe.
I mean, it's not like this has been a dream of mine or anything, but I sure wanted to try on clothes like this at least once.
Sorami and Lilith both spun around enthusiastically.
Oh, Master, would you care for a murder? How about a massacre? Wholesale carnage, some cakes, soft drinks, beer.
I do not need any of those. In fact, could you all please change back?
Oh, where's Raziel? I was hoping we could do a little song and dance together. You know, like an anime ending.
My mom was internally screaming no at everything around me.
I did give her a set of clothes, but she's still not here. Let's go check up on her.
Onwards!
Sorami and Lilith, both strangely lively for some reason, once again disappear into the back. They appear to be having the time of their lives. What is the meaning of this? I sighed, once again shut my gaze to look out the window.
No need to be shy. Come on out.
Look, it's gonna be fine. Holy shit, they're huge. End discussion.
Oh, Raziel, you have grown into a fine young woman.
Raziel appeared to be fiercely resisting whatever was happening to her. Driven by a sense of unease, I decided to go check up on the girls.
No need to be shy. Come on out.
Look, it's gonna be fine. It fits you perfectly.
But this is a bit tight.
And a 1, and a 2,
and a 2.
Ta-da!
It was perfectly synchronized. Raziel appeared to have finished changing. She emerged from the back with uneasy steps as the other two kept urging her on.
Well...
Raziel changed in maid outfit, or rather, was forced to change into one. So compared to the other two, she was certainly a touch taller, with noticeably more feminine curves. She took a few unsteady steps in my direction while struggling to keep her short skirt and tightly fitting clothes in check.
Welcome.
Her voice came out faint as a whisper. Raziel, there was no need for you to go along with it in the games.
It's not a game, though.
It's high entertainment. Everyone ought to experience something like this at least once in their mortal lives. Well, since I'm a demon, I guess it's immortal life in my case.
I doubt there was much difference between the two, though.
How does it look?
Raziel stole a few nervous glances at me. How does what look? Raziel hesitantly averted her gaze, clearly at loss for words. Lilith stepped forward, gave her shoulder a hearty pat.
She wanted to know if her outfit looked good on her.
Ah, so that was what she meant. Proceeded to carefully analyze her garments. Appears to call attention to the female form rather than serve any practical purpose. Similarly, clothing made her wear uncomfortable, negating the point of its tight design. In terms of practicality, I want to give a thumbs down. I voiced my honest opinion. The moment I did, the very air in the room seemed to have frosted over.
But, Raziel, you see, Setsuna, he's pretty awful at reading the mood, you know?
Both of you told me it looked great! You liars! You big dirty liars!
Her body began to tremble.
Whoa, careful, she's gonna blow!
Raziel was on the verge of tears. The other two girls, in the meantime, glared at me with gazes that screamed murder. The following is a transcription of our communication through eye contact alone. Geez, got a clue. How? What am I supposed to do? Tell her a kind word or two. Flatter her. Flatter? She wasn't making things any easier for me, yet her orders were absolute. And personally speaking, I did feel somewhat guilty as I listened to Raziel's desperate sobs. Flattery, huh? I assumed I was meant to compliment her. Either way, I decided to simply state the truth. In conclusion, I would say I like it more when you're dressed in your everyday uniform.
What?
And just like that, her tears stopped. Following a brief silence, Raziel began flailing her arms around in a complete state of panic.
You like me?
Right. Raziel had no experience in matters of the heart.
Even though she's an angel who lived several thousands of years?
Well, as a result of Azazel taking a liking to a stunningly beautiful mortal women, all angels were ultimately expected to be pure and chaste. By the way, I may be a demon, but I'm just as pure and just as chaste.
That makes about as much sense as calling a sexy bikini model pure and chaste. Besides, according to myth, weren't you already divorced once?
No! Myth may say that, but my record's sparkling clean.
You guys had something like that?
I like to ignore their arguments in the background, instead turned back to Raziel, who was on the verge of a complete mental breakdown. I first need to find a way to calm her. Raziel! Raziel!
Yes, I like books too.
No one asked, though. So, maybe you should start by changing back into your uniform.
Oh, okay. Good idea. Got it.
In a series of hasty movements, she probably began unfastening the button that served and emphasized her chest area.
Well, I think there are tons of people who'd find the notion of a youthful wife to be plenty appealing. Wait, what?
I'm not What?
Sorami let it look away like they had just seen a ghost. Needless to say, I was staring at Raziel as well, mouth completely agape. Again, unbuttoned her shirt one by one. Raziel, hold up a second. Removed her skirt.
Raziel!
She threw her blouse off with a determined move.
Raziel! Stop! And relax. Deep breaths. If you're gonna change, do it in the back.
I'm okay, really. I'm perfectly calm and relaxed. Either way, I need to get naked as soon as possible.
No, you don't!
I nodded in agreement. In that case, I closed my eyes in an attempt to flee from reality by shutting out all visual stimuli. Actually, considering the situation, it may not have been the wisest things to do either.
Hey Sorami, take this fool of an angel off the stage immediately!
Aye, your magnificence.
Try that again. Sorry, give me a second.
It's fine.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die laughter.
Aye, your magnificence, sir.
They really should have made up their minds whether they wanted to do a period drama or a military scene. Additionally, the correct usage was aye, ma'am, in this case. Anyhow, the two of them dragged Raziel, who by the way was still vehemently trying to rid herself of clothing, to the back of the store. Raziel looked befuddled, Lilith completely exhausted. As for Sorami, same as above. As you've gone through a lot, the moment said that, all three of them looked at me with a somewhat critical, somewhat perplexed gaze.
We certainly weren't bored, that's for sure. And I brought the maid outfits with me, just in case.
That was plain robbery.
Oh, don't worry, I left some cash at the counter.
Lilith's tone was rife with confidence. Currency held little to no meaning here at Tokyo Babel. The act must have at least helped alleviate her guilt. On the other hand, I couldn't help but think it odd that a demon would have a guilty conscience at all. Sorami fidgeting while casting a few nervous looks at her surroundings. Is something wrong?
Yeah, there's something weird.
Sorami seemed on the verge of panic. What could she have seen with those eyes of hers? Calm down, Sorami. What are you seeing? Sorami's concerned features hardened. Almost as if she just spotted something. She then spoke up, balling her trembling hands into fists.
I'm sensing hostility.
Hostility.
It's corrupting the very air. And it's already spread that far.
Seems that way.
Lilith's expression soured in an instant. Raziel, too, got her act together and began preparing for combat. As for me, I've already brandished my sword. Every last second Akihabara was being corrupted, just as Sorami had stated.
Lilith, use your shadow.
Okay.
One broad swing of Lilith's arm caused her shadow, already stretching along the afternoon sun, to extend even further.
Should be able to poke around with this. It's an active sonar though, so they'll be able to detect as well.
I doubt that makes any difference at this point, though.
Setsuna, you're about to... Oh. Yeah, sorry, I thought it was someone else for a moment. Setsuna, you're about to head into battle. Are you ready?
I already participated in one battle against Getho. The overwhelming pressure I felt now made that past clash seem like a practice run by comparison. The nanomachine synthesized a dose of sedatives to be circulated all throughout my body. And with that, the pressure on my shoulders dissipated, and once hazy vision once again cleared up. I nodded at Raziel, told her to stand back. Last time I acted as a foreign element in Gethel's world. This time, we're aggressive intruders. If this realm acted as Kurou Miyako's body, I was the virus intent to wreaking havoc within it.
Heads up!
She herself materialized as the white blood cell to purge every last trace of that virus.
Setsuna, Hostile at 3 o'clock, above you!
As I turned to the right, an angel swooped down at tremendous speed, tearing into my arm. Her familiar face must have momentarily caught me off guard. After ravaging my arm, the angel once again rose high into the skies and latched onto the side of the building. Her voice echoed across the street like violent thunder.
Leave this place at once.
She roared at us, her features contorted by madness, in overwhelming contrast to her Pandora dwelling itself. Not a trace of white adorned wings was covered in steel spikes from top to bottom, evoking the image of a scaled mechanical reptile.
I can't believe it.
Raziel's voice behind me was fraught with despair.
Out! Out! Leave me! This town is mine. The core is my very being. I reject all else. I won't say it again. Leave me!
Setsuna, you know what to do, right?
I gave her a silent nod. Kurou, Miyako had resolved herself to do battle here, her tone rife with fury and anger, her soul tormented by insatiable hunger, crippling thirst alike. In other words, she was beyond help. Her heartbeat, imagine what it would be like if Sorami or I end up like that, then discarded the thought as swiftly as it came to me. My own priority right now is to eliminate the foe standing before me. My body however switched to combat mode, with Sorami being the only target I needed to protect. That said, commencing battle with her so close would have been unfavorable. The solution felt evident. I needed to move far away enough so that Sorami would be in no danger of being assaulted by Kurou Miyako. I brandished my steel, facing the shrieking Kurou up the wall. Lilith and Raziel already taught me how to make use of the sword's power. Wrath, let the world hear rage thunder and sweep across the realm. Yours is not a fire to purify, but a flame wrought of sins most grave, deep and blue. Come forth! Azure fire coiled about the blade, propelling bullet-like whips of flame towards Kurou Miyako as I pointed the sword at her. Though my own magical capacity left much to be desired, the sword itself contained a plentiful supply of it, resulting in a considerably powerful attack. Kurou took to flight as I sent a barrage of azure flames after her, coloring the sky itself blue. Up into the air, dashing up the building's wall. Kurou's wings shot numerous steel projectiles my way. I almost had to compensate for my previous attack. Quickening my pace, I gained ample distance from the other three and arrived at the rooftop. From there, a plunge into the skies again. After blanketing the entire building with a barrage of spikes, Kurou turned her full attention to me.
If you have no intention of leaving, then die! Just die! Die! Die!
Her voice now rang with ripe antagonism. I dashed forward, slipping past her torrent of spikes. Getting out of a rainstorm dry and unscathed would have been a simpler task, so I brandished my steel, an umbrella to shield me from the storm. A blade in my right hand, thunder in my left. Come forth, squat! Heed not the call of labor and hoard your unearned riches, I should waste away in unending slumber! Molten gold sprang into form, catching the incoming spikes head on.
The Bikaji's sword!
Kurou retreated backwards, eye wide in surprise, augmenting my legs' insulation and cooling, with a top of gold to chase her. Every step spewing sizzling white smoke during my advance. Take this! Wings and blades clashed, the former shielding itself from certain destruction through a veil of myriad spikes.